And I'm back on YouTube again now, too. Yes, Blue, I use HelloTalk on the computer when I do my streams. Hello, Mona. Hey, Mike, how you doing? The link for YouTube is right here. I'm hanging in there, Mike. Hello, Heba. Good to see you again. Hello, Harry. Harry, you can probably say, I have been watching you for 2 years. Don't say sorry. That's the point of being here, is to learn. Bruce wants to know, he says, I'm planning to teach kids English. What advice would you give me to start? It will be online classes and I have zero experience. Well, how old are they, Bruce? How old are they? What age? Eight to 12. Okay. Well, the hardest part of teaching children online is keeping their attention. Children in a classroom is still difficult to control the class, but it's a lot easier when they're all in one room. But online classes with children sometimes can be really difficult to keep their attention and to keep their focus. I know some teachers who use recording of the classes as almost like a threat. So what they'll do is they'll tell all the parents that they're going to record every class, and then the behavior of the students is recorded. And then if you have a kid who's behaving badly, you can send the video to the parents, to deal with it. And sometimes that works, I think. Sometimes that is a deterrent to keep kids focused and a little bit more in line. But the truth is, some kids are just not good for online classes. I actually interview kids before I take them on as a student now. If you want me to teach your kid, you can't just buy classes from me and make me teach your kid. No, that's not how it works. First, you have to prove to me that your kid can learn in an online class environment. So I have to meet with you once, at least, and talk to your kid and find out if they're actually interested in learning English, find out if they have the ability to do online classes. I've had a couple of parents actually ask me about teaching their 4-year-old kid online, 3, 4, 5 years old. No. What are you thinking? No, that just is not a good idea for a million reasons, you know? So an 8 to 12 is not terrible. That's an age that is a little bit easier to deal with. So it could be okay. But as someone mentioned here, yeah, I would say games. That's the thing about teaching kids at that age. You have to keep it entertaining. So what I would tell you is send me a private message, and maybe I have a book that might help you for creating some games. But you also need to look online to find some games to keep the kids engaged. And it's a very tricky thing to both play lots of games, but make sure you have a plan, a learning plan. You know, you can't just play random games. You need to play games that work on grammar. You need to play games that work on pronunciation. You need to play games that work on building vocabulary. You need to play games that work on sentence structure. You need to play games that work on reading and writing and listening. So you need to write out 8 different areas: reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8 areas that I focus on teaching. Then you need to create some games for each of those things to work on. How to make sure if there's a huge difference in their level. Well, that's another problem is you can't do that. If you've got one kid who doesn't know anything and one kid who's got pretty good English, that's not going to work. You can't have those kids in the same classroom online. In a real classroom, there are things you could do for that. In a real classroom, you can have the older kids help the younger kids. Having the older kids teach the younger kids is great practice for them, and it helps you. But when you're online, you can't do that. So, yeah, there are lots of things about online teaching that are not optimal. There are lots of things that are not optimal about teaching online. Oh, we have someone who posted a poem from Shakespeare. From off a hill whose concave womb rewarded, a plaintful story from a sistering vale, my spirits attend this double voice. Which, where's that from, Mar? I don't recognize the lines. Yeah, like I said, Mike, I do take students, I do take kids, and I have a few who are quite good, but I have to interview the kids and the parents before I agree to it. And I need to know that the kid actually wants to learn, because if you're trying to get your kid online and they don't want to learn, you're wasting your time, the teacher's time, and your money. It's just not going to work, you know? The most important thing when you work with kids is being patient and motivation. You need lots of songs and games. That's true, but again, online does change the way you have to teach. And I mean, online teaching is very different from classroom teaching. I've done both. And I absolutely prefer in-person teaching to online teaching. What criteria do I use for an interview? No criteria in particular. I want to talk to the kid. I want to see what level they have. I want to see if they have a personal interest in learning English. The hardest thing to do as a teacher is to teach someone who doesn't want to learn. But if the kid actually has an interest in English and is excited about speaking English and using English, then that's different. So that's the big thing that I'm doing when I interview the kids is I find out what their excitement level is for learning English. That's really one of the most important things. Who do you talk to become advanced? Harry, I'm not sure I understand your question. Good morning, Tanya. How to make sure that you made a huge difference in their level. Again, Bruce, that's a big question. Every student is different, so you have to treat every student differently. Even when I teach a group of kids, I still have to think about their personal abilities as individuals. And I have to try my best to cater my teaching methods to their individual abilities. That's one of the big differences between a good teacher and a bad teacher, in my opinion. I had lots of bad teachers when I was younger because they used one method for every single kid in the class, and they were unable to specialize or cater that method to each individual student, right? So as a teacher, you do have one method for the whole class, but then you also have to consider that method in a secondary way. So you have to consider it as a macro and a micro effect, right? Meaning the group, the large group, and the individual. So if you have one kid who's very shy, you might ask them different questions, or you might give them a slightly different exercise than the other kids. If you have one kid who is a really gregarious, very outgoing kid, you might treat them slightly differently in how you're going to approach them as you test them with exercises and games, right? So you have to consider both the group and the individual. Any good teacher will do that. Right, breakout rooms. Yeah, I know, but I still think breakout rooms are still not always that effective, to be honest. Harry, okay, Harry, I already asked you, Harry, slow down. Harry, slow down. Your question is a little bit big, okay, Harry? Here's what I will tell you, Harry. Have you watched my YouTube channel? Have you watched my YouTube channel, Harry? Okay, then that's what you need to do. All right? Go to my YouTube channel. I have dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of live streams recorded there. And I answer that question many, many times in my YouTube channel, okay? But it's a big question. How can I be fluent is a silly question to ask because it depends on you and I don't know you, right? So I don't know what you've studied. I don't know what you've learned. I don't know what your level is. You say you understand all these words, but I don't even know if that's true. So what I would suggest, Harry, is I promise you, if you go to my YouTube channel, let me give you the link. There are many videos there, and you can take your time and watch them and make notes. Make notes, okay? I wasn't ignoring your question. I just didn't understand it because it's a little vague. Okay? But please, everybody, be patient when you write your questions because there are lots of people here. Okay? And Perfect Blue has my answer, which is that you need to think more in English. If you're having trouble speaking English, it's really for one simple reason. It's because you never spend any time thinking in English. The more time you spend thinking in English, your mind is in a language practice room. Okay, your mind is a language practice room. If you use it every day to practice language, then you'll be ready to speak whenever you want to. But if you never think in English, then of course it's difficult for you to speak in English. Okay, so yeah, that's the secret, is you have to spend more time thinking in English. And I talk about that a lot on all my live streams, okay? And yes, Bruce, I would say it would be better to divide the classes into two groups. If you've got one group that's beginners and one group that's more intermediate or advanced level, then separate the classes into two groups. Oh, and we have another Bruce. Hello, Bruce. Good to see you again, my friend. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Juliet. Hello, Elif. What if the students are not interested in learning English? You can drag a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. That's the idiom we use for that situation, Jenny. If you have kids who are not interested in learning, if you're a parent and you have kids who are not interested in learning English, your job is to teach the kids why it's important. Your job is to get them excited about learning English. Do you know what I see often? Here's what I see often, especially in China. I get many Chinese parents who contact me and they tell me they want their kid to learn English, and they speak English. The parents do know some English. Sometimes they know English well, but they never, ever, ever speak English at home. They never use English with their kids. If you speak English, but you never use English, the lesson that you are teaching your kids is that English is not important. So the first thing I would tell you to do is, if you want your kids to learn English, either you need to use the English you have, or you need to show them that you want to learn English. Live by example. Live by example. Okay? Education happens much better when you have the fuel of motivation. Without the fuel of motivation, education is almost a waste of time. And everyone can remember that feeling of when they were in school and they didn't know why they were in school and they didn't know why they were learning this or learning that. It's the biggest mistake in education still to this day. If you can't explain to a kid the practical usages or reasons why they need to learn those things, then you are wasting your time. That's true for every single class in education. You need to show why you need to learn it. You need to show why it's valuable. If you can't do that, then what are you doing? You know? Ellie, I don't have a normal time. I do live streams anytime I can. Guys, I don't get paid for this, so There is no schedule. If you want me to be on a schedule, I have to be paid. Okay, I'm a busy guy. I have a lot of things to do. So I wish I could be on a schedule, but I just can't do it anymore. So I do live streams when I have the time. When I have the time. Okay? Hello, Maria. Good to see you. That's right, Bruce. There are lots of teachers who just kind of teach randomly. Yeah. Thank you, Brun. Hello, Sandra. Hajo Bujian. Do I think one-on-one classes are more effective for kids? They can be. They can be. Especially online. Online, I think they are. One-on-one classes are more effective. Hello, Jessica Georgina. Yeah, Teacher Mike, yeah, you know, if you want your kids to learn something, you know, especially a language, you tell your kids how important it is to speak English, but you don't try to do any of it yourself, the best thing you can do is live by example. Go get a book and start learning English. Prove to them that it's valuable. If you don't do that, then your kids have every right to say, no, I don't want to learn it. What's the best series of textbooks to teach kids based on my experience? There are many. They're all really about the same, in my opinion. When I was in Taiwan, I used probably 6 or 7 different series of books for teaching kids English, and they're all decent. I don't necessarily know if it matters which one you choose. They all present the material in about the same way. I think it's a matter of being able to make it exciting as a teacher. Yeah. Do I have any advice for making more complex sentences? One, read. Read the things that you want to be able to speak like, right? So if you want to speak, you know, more complex sentences, then read more complex sentences so you see the examples. Listen to people who speak with more complex sentences. Reading and listening, you know, would definitely be 2 things I would definitely advise. But then always remember that complexity does not always mean better. Sometimes the simplest way to say something is the best way to say something. Razan says, my level is B1 and I want to be C1. The problem is I did my best to improve, but I still am at the same level. What should I do? Razan, you should do 2 things. 1, you need more ways to learn. People don't make progress because they have only one way to learn. You have one book and you are studying in that one book and you do the same things over and over and over, so you're not making any progress because you only have one method. The more methods that you have for learning, the more likely you're going to make constant progress. That's the first thing, right? So you need books, you need videos, you need apps, you need live streams, you need podcasts, you need teachers, you need friends, you need anything that you can get to help you learn. Get them all. Each one of them is going to push you forward a little bit more in a different way. And then two, Razan, the other reason why people don't excel is because they focus on their strengths, but not their weaknesses. So if you're focusing on the things that you're already good at, if you speak well and you write well, great, but that's not what you need to work on. You need to work on your reading and your listening. If you don't read and listen well, then you need to, if you read and listen well, then you need to work on your speaking and your writing. Focus on your weaknesses. That's the way you'll move forward. Okay? Tatiana, did I find a job? I just need a break sometimes, guys. I have a life. I have a lot of things that I'm doing at the same time. Sometimes I just need a break, you know? So I'm here today, but I might not be here tomorrow. Take advantage of when I'm here. That was the other reason why I took a break, is because sometimes I feel like people take me for granted a little bit here. You just assume I'm going to be here. Maybe you shouldn't assume that. Pay attention. Follow my YouTube. Support me. What are you doing to support me, other than just showing up and watching and listening to all of my advice? What are you doing to make me feel like I should want to be here? What about that? Have you shared any of my videos with any of your friends? Have you told any of your friends to come watch me? What have you done to make me feel like I'm appreciated? If I feel appreciated, then I will be here. But occasionally I don't feel that way. So, one, I need to take a break because I'm busy and I have other things to do. I teach. I just decided to go back to school again. I now am working on my Chinese again significantly. I'm writing my book. I have a lot of things I've got going on. And I do have private lessons and classes I have to teach. Hello, Sophia. Hello, Dr. Ann. Thank you, Maksud. Concur means to agree. Michelle says, I agree with you. However, some students can learn English through online or even YouTube and watching English educational movies and cartoons. You're right, Michelle. I know lots of students like that. I have lots of students who have learned largely from watching things like cartoons or YouTube. Sure. But the difference is, Michelle, they're all motivated. They want to watch those things, right? It's one reason why I don't discourage people from letting their kids watch cartoons. If it's English, it's learning. Okay? So, yeah. But Michelle, motivation is still key. Motivation is still key. What's the best way to learn a new language? Sousa wants to know. Very simple. There is no one way. The best way to learn anything is every possible way that you can get. There's no one book you can get that's going to make a difference. But if you get every book, it'll make a difference. There's no one video that you can get that's going to make a difference. But if you get every video, it will make a difference. Your brain is a complicated, complicated machine. It does not want just one way. It wants every possible way. Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. Okay, Sousa? Don't limit your challenges. Challenge your limits. You'll get confused if you have lots of things. No, you won't. No, you won't. Learning is supposed to be hard, everyone. Learning is supposed to be a challenge. That's why we respect people who are really smart, because we know that they weren't just born with that knowledge, they had to earn it. Right? It's supposed to feel like you're climbing a mountain. If you've shared my videos, then I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Bruce says, for the IELTS speaking, writing, and speaking and writing, they say you have to develop your imagination. The best way is to read novels, but I find it too boring. Okay, Bruce, so don't read novels then. Read articles. Read short stories. Or better yet, Bruce, write your own stories. That's a good way to develop your imagination. Write. Don't just read. Hello, everyone who's joining. Okay, I have a specific grammar question. Please be patient. There are 102 comments I haven't read yet. Please be patient. Let's see. So Mona says, can I help you, or can you help me understand the difference between past continuous and past perfect continuous and how to apply them in daily situations? Yeah, Mona. So here's what I want you to think of. First of all, forget the word perfect. Anytime you see the word perfect, replace that word with the word completed, because the word perfect in English grammar doesn't mean 100%. It doesn't mean without flaw. It doesn't mean amazing. It means completed. It's the Latin meaning. Perfectum is a Latin word that means completed, and that's what this meaning is. Okay, so when you think about time, I want you to think about points in time. So, for example, simple past is one point in time in the past that you're talking about. I went to the baseball game last week. That's one point in time, okay? Past continuous is talking about something in the past all the way up until now. 2 points in time, okay? The past all the way up until the present, okay? And past perfect continuous is talking about something that started in the past and ended in the past. Okay, and it occurred before another thing, right? So you're talking about something that started in the past, ended in the past, and then something else happened. So now we have 3 points in time. So simple past has 1 point in time. Past continuous has 2 points in time. Past perfect continuous has 3 points in time. Okay? Hopefully that helps you. Lynn says, I have problems with of, to, at, in, and on. You want some advice? Yeah, Lynn, I think that there are 2 things you need to do to learn prepositions better. I'm working with one of my students on this right now. If you can label the sentence structure, so start with a simple sentence like, well, one moment, let me find one here. Please be patient and wait for me to answer your questions. All right, let's see. No. Hate when that happens. Okay, so if we have a simple question like, for example, one moment. You need to diagram the sentences, okay? So, for example, if you say something like, here we go. This is the page I was looking for. All right. The flowers in the garden are growing. The flowers in the garden are growing. First, you need to say, what is the subject of the sentence? The subject of the sentence is the flowers, right? What's the verb of the sentence? The flowers are growing. They're growing. That's the verb, right? Then we have the preposition and the prepositional noun, okay? The object of the prepositional. The object of the preposition. So the flowers is the subject, the growing is the verb, and in the garden is the preposition and prepositional object, okay? So if you diagram enough sentences and you label what they are, that will help you to understand prepositions better. That's one. But there's also a really good website that I just found just the other day. I'm going to give it to you. One moment. Let me find it here. Okay, this website, everything you need to know about prepositions. Let me see if I can give it to you here or not. It might be too big. Oh, no, I think it's okay. Let me share my screen so you guys can see this website for a moment. Everything you need to know about prepositions. This website's really good. Okay? It tells you what kinds of prepositions there are: transitive, intransitive, conjunctive, complex, phrase prepositions. And then there's a big list of prepositions here. Okay? And they tell you about the preposition and how it can be used, and they give you some examples for it over here. Okay? So in can be used to talk about rooms, in the bedroom, in the bathroom, in the family room, in the kitchen, buildings, in the supermarket, in the grocery store, in the street, in the road, in the alley, in the city, in the town, in the village, in the country, in China, in Japan, in Brazil, right? In the book, in the dictionary, right? In the newspaper, in the document, whatever, any kind of paper, in the car, in the plane, now sometimes transportation can also use on. It depends on the transportation and how you're trying to describe it. Okay? In the picture, in the world, all right? So look at this wonderful site. It has great list of all these different things. Okay, so this is a great site to check out. And then my final tip for you about these, you need lots of practice. You need lots and lots and lots of practice. Okay, so that means that you need to read a lot of preposition sentences to see how in can be used and how as can be used and how on and, above can be used. All right? Learn by example. Okay, let me catch up with the comments here. All right. Hello, Johnny. Good to see you again. All roads lead to Rome, Sandra says. Yeah, that's one way to think about it, but I like to think about it a little bit differently, Sandra. I like to think about learning is like climbing a mountain, okay? And sure, you can take one path to get to the top of the mountain, but if you get to the top of the mountain, then yeah, you got to the top. But does that mean you really know that mountain well? Do you know that mountain? You got to the top of the mountain, but does that mean you actually know the mountain well? If you take every path to the top of the mountain, then you'll know the mountain well. If you take one path to the top of the mountain, you might get there, but it doesn't mean you know that mountain well. Okay? So I try to learn in every way I possibly can, and each way is a different path up the mountain. And your opinion is very important when you learn and enjoy it. It is, but I think that every effort should be made to try to learn in a motivational way, an inspiring way, an interesting way. Every effort should be made, but sometimes learning is just not fun. That's part of it. Occasionally you're going to have a task to do that's just a task to do. And there is no making it fun. You just have to do it. I think that's important too. That's about discipline. So sure, motivational techniques and tools to keep things interesting and fun are great. But there are some times when you just have to sit down and do it. Stop being a baby and just do it. Wan Chang Hao. Thank you, a lady. Am I doing online cooking classes recently? No. Why? Hello, Sayazni. Yes, I am a drummer. Hello, Marina. Could I make some examples of past perfect continuous? Sure. One moment. Let me pull up this page I look at. So if I say, had you been waiting long before the taxi arrived? That's past perfect continuous. So I'm asking you, did you wait a long time before the taxi arrived? The taxi arrived in the past. You started to wait before the taxi arrived. They both happened in the past. So we have the present, which is now. We have when the taxi arrived, which is then. And we have prior to that, before that, when you started waiting. Okay? We had been trying to open the door for 5 minutes when Jane found her key. So that means in the past, you had been trying to open the door for 5 minutes. You started trying to open the door 5 minutes before when Jane found her key. Both of those things happen in the past. The present is here. You're talking about when Jane found her key, which is here. And you're talking about when you started trying to open the door, which is here. Understand? Okay? Okay, I've got a lot of people asking grammar questions now. Yeah, grammar makes me drained too. I don't really want to do that much grammar here today. I'd rather just kind of chat and talk. No offense. But grammar is something that you should get a teacher for if you don't understand. Okay? So when I'm here teaching, I do like to give general tips. I do like to give motivational concepts and ideas. I do like to give my personal ideas and concepts about learning. But if you want specific tips, pay me. Okay? So I think I've done my grammar for the day. Thank you, A Lady. Sunny, 我听不懂你说什么啊？如果你听得懂我的什么 linking and weakening 什么意思？谢谢。There's a good example. Yeah, I was reading a book when you called last night. Right. Hello, Eugene Marie. Sandra, you've got a pretty good grasp on it. That's good. Grammar sucks, everybody. Nobody likes grammar. Did you know that grammar is actually related to the word glamour, which comes from an original meaning of magical? Because grammar is kind of like learning magic. It's complicated. So, yeah, you know, again, I don't mind teaching grammar, but to be honest with you, if you want me to teach you grammar, you got to pay me. Because it's painful for me, even. You know, I don't like grammar any more than you do. So, give you some tips for an English job interview. Kelly Carmo. Kelly, job interviews are always about one simple thing, confidence. So you need to be confident and relaxed, okay? If your English is okay, then you just have to demonstrate that you have a relaxed confidence in yourself. Okay? They need help. You need to look like that help. If you look like you're a problem, they're not going to hire you. If you look like you're a solution, they will hire you. Okay? Linking sound changes. Oh. Don't think about it so much. 1. 2. Practice singing songs. When you sing, you naturally link words. So many people who learn English, when they speak like this. Every word is separated and there is no linking. But when you sing, all the words are connected because it's singing. So practice singing some songs and then you'll start to understand linking better. Okay? Nancy likes grammar. 我觉得你有一点疯了。Without grammar, there is no English, sadly. Yeah, grammar is a part of all languages, but nobody, I'm sorry, but I think that you need to seek mental help if you actually like grammar in any language. Grammar is not language. Grammar is the rules of language. Grammar is talking about language, but it is not language itself. Okay? How can he be relaxed and confident before his interview? It's not easy to control himself. What do you do when your phone doesn't work right? If your phone doesn't work, what do? You turn it off and you turn it on. If your computer doesn't work, what do? You turn it off and you turn it on. So let me demonstrate how you can turn off and turn on your brain so that you can be relaxed again. Okay? Watch me. Watch carefully. Are you ready? Take a breath. Take a breath. Believe in yourself. That's something you should practice every day. Okay? Why don't we hear native English people say ought? Because it's an old word that we don't often use, and it's the formalized version of should. And when you use the word ought, it makes you sound a bit either old-fashioned or snobby, like you're pretentious. You ought not do that. You ought to read more. Why not just say you should not do that? You should read more. So it's a word that has become a bit archaic. It's not. What's the point of using that word? Why not just use should? That's why. You're very smart in Portuguese, but in English you can't sell yourself. Well, Kelly, sometimes when people ask me about job interviews in English, I don't want to tell you this, but I think you might need to hear it. You might not get this job because you might not be able to prepare yourself enough with English to seem confident and relaxed. But that means that you need to fix that for the next job interview, all right? So how can you fix that, Kelly? You need to start thinking in English more every day so that you feel more confident with English. So, Kelly, when you learn a new language, you have a new mind. So right now you have a brilliant Portuguese mind. Okay, that's one mind. But your other English mind is just a child. Okay, so you have your brilliant Chinese or your brilliant Portuguese mind up here, and you have your child's English mind down here. Okay, if you never use your English mind, it will always be a child. So you'll always feel like a scared child. But if you use your English mind every day, it will grow and it will become more and more confident. Okay? Confidence in speaking and listening and reading and writing starts with confidence in thinking. Okay? Hello, Zebra. How long have I been learning Chinese? 我觉得我自己学中文大约10年大约。Is it necessary to remember English words every day? Yeah. It is. If you want to use English, then you need to think about it every day. Okay? Jackie. Uh, 第一次就是非常重要，你需要练习讲英文，每天你可以练习讲，每天需要的。OK， 如果你去商店讲英文，如果你看电视讲英文 ，OK。Is grammar important when speaking or not? Tamari, grammar is important if you're at school. Grammar is important if you're taking a test. Grammar is important if you're at work. But if you're not at work and you're not taking a test and you're not at school, then no, life is not a grammar test. Speak. If you make some mistakes, who cares? There's nobody there to correct you with a red pen. Just speak. It's a bigger mistake to not speak because you're afraid to make mistakes. That's a big mistake. Okay? So no, it's not that important. If you want to know about my lessons, go to my website. Where did it go? One moment. What happened to my website? There it is. Go to my link tree. If you go to my link tree, you can find all of my links. Find my website where I have lessons. You can find my YouTube where I have my videos. You can find my Facebook and everything. Okay? Oh, geez, guys. So many questions. Thank you, Sonny. Okay, listen. Look at me. Pay attention. I do anything I want to do when I'm on my camera. It's my camera, it's my computer, and it's my time. If I want to speak Chinese, I'll speak Chinese. If I want to speak Japanese, I'll speak Japanese. If I want to speak whatever language I want to speak, it's my time. I'll do what I want to do. Thank you. Okay, that's one. Two, slow down and listen. Okay? If you have a question for me, the first thing you should do is go to my YouTube channel and start watching my YouTube videos. Because I guarantee I have already answered that question in my YouTube videos. I guarantee it. Okay? And one of the things about being an online streamer here is it feels like there's so many people who are just, me, answer my question. Why didn't you answer my question? Talk to me. Calm down. Calm down. I'm a human being. Please remember that. Okay? Speak to me like a human being. Shamim, go to my YouTube channel, watch my YouTube videos. It'll improve your listening. Okay? Sandra says, use it or lose it. That's true, Sandra. However, again, if you learn how to think in a language, you can use it anytime you want and you never lose it. So why can I speak Chinese? Because I practice thinking in Chinese often. That's the reason I can use my Chinese, because I think in Chinese. Okay? You said try to use the new words in everyday conversations, but that assumes that you have everyday conversations. Okay? Sandra, 你住在什么城市？北京吗？上海吗？我觉得他们有一点外国人，你可以跟他们说话，可是很多人没有，所以如果你不可以说话，你需要想。In other words, whom, when should we use it? Johanna, to be honest, never. Whom is another word that just needs to die. That word like ought. It's not needed. Anything that you could say with whom, you could say with who, and it would be just fine. And no one would be confused. So I don't see the point in even paying attention to the word whom or the word ought. Okay? Is there a difference between accept and accept in terms of pronunciation? Slightly. Accept. Accept. Slight different. Oh, wow. Look, I missed all these comments over here. Hello, New Yen Chung. Hello, Maria over there. Hello. I'm so sorry, Perfect Blue. Yeah, you're right. I got distracted by everybody trying to yell at me in Hello Talk. But I'm here now. I had my websites up, so I couldn't see the comments in YouTube. I apologize. Should you use the word sir? I don't think sir is too formal in most situations. I think it's okay. I sent the email to the customer, sir. If you're telling your boss what you did, then that's okay. I think every boss will tell you what they want to be addressed as. So your boss might not like it if you call him by his first name. So you should ask. You should just say, should I call you sir or ma'am or madam or miss? Or should I call you Chuck or Joan or Bill or Bob or Gina? Okay? Hello, Miguel. And again, I apologize to my YouTube audience. I was distracted too much. Okay? How to study English literature? Cliff Notes. Get the book and get the Cliff Notes. Look it up online. Cliff Notes are shortened summaries that explain to you what the book is about and what are the important themes and concepts to understand in that book. Okay? Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes. Cliff Notes. Shamim, how can you improve your listening? Go to my YouTube channel. I'm a Virgo. Sunny says my browser cannot access YouTube. 很多中国人他们可以看，我觉得他们用好特别的魔法。如果你有特别的魔法，你也可以看。Okay, and once again, if you're looking for my links, go here. Hello, Abdo. How do you say air conditioning? You mean in Chinese? I don't understand what you're trying to ask me. You say air conditioning. In English, that's what you say. Even my YouTube videos of meditation are in English. That's good, Kelly. Yeah, the more you can involve English in your life, the more comfortable you will be. Can I speak Persian? I can say salam. My second language is Chinese. Hello, Miguel. Manny says you should find a foreigner to be your boyfriend. That's not a good reason to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Come on, that's not nice. Mark from Pakistan. 30 minutes, a 30-minute lesson is $12.50 with me. Okay? Go to my website and you can find all my prices. Okay? Can watching movies and songs help to improve English? Yeah, it can. Yeah. Thank you, Teacher Mike, for helping me with that. Can I share how to use HelloTalk? Yeah. Let me tell you about that. Somebody, who was that? Misty? No, somebody said, Sarah, I think, said she talks with foreigners every day on HelloTalk. That's great. However, I will tell you that 98% of the people who use HelloTalk use it incorrectly. Okay? Let me tell you what you should not do. Okay? Every day, I get messages from people. Lots of them. Okay? I have about 70,000 followers on HelloTalk now. I get lots of messages from people. But let me tell you something. If you just do this, I'm not going to reply to you. If all you do is wave, I'm not replying to that. That's lazy. Okay, that's number one. Number two, if you message me and you say, hello, will you teach me English? No. No, I will not. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. Wait a minute. Introduce yourself. Tell me who you are. Tell me what you want. Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm from blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. I read your profile and I see you like cooking. I like cooking too. Tell me your favorite recipe. Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you. I'm from blah, blah, blah. I read your profile. I see that you like movies. I like movies too. Can you tell me your favorite movie? If you do not know how to introduce yourself, that's the first thing you need to learn. In any language, I don't care what language you are learning. If you're learning Japanese, you need to learn how to introduce yourself. Konnichiwa, hajimemashite. If you're learning French, you need to learn how to introduce yourself. Bonjour, je m'appelle Marc. Introduce yourself, introduce yourself, introduce yourself. Okay? If you have a good introduction, someone will reply to you and they will help you. If you have a good introduction, if you just message someone and beg them to teach you English, no. It's not going to work. So, message them. Why? Because I'll tell you why. Because teaching is a job, Shamin. Teaching is a job. If you want a teacher, pay them. If you message me and say, hey, I would like to pay you to teach me English, that I will reply to. I will reply to you if you say that. But if you ask me to teach you for free, no, that's not a free thing. HelloTalk is not an app to find a free teacher. HelloTalk is an app to find a friend. HelloTalk is an app where you can find a friend who will help you. Okay? But if you're not paying them, then they are not obligated to help you at all. Okay? That's how it works. Okay? Manny wants to teach me Chinese for free. Okay. 每天吗？每天你要吗？2个小时每天我要睡，可以吗？没有钱。Okay, well, Manny, I think that you're, 我觉得你非常特别，可是 most people are not like that. Okay? It's the first thing you need to learn how to do if you want to become friends with someone. Introduce yourself properly. Okay? Let me say that one more time. If you want to find people on HelloTalk who will help you, you cannot find a free teacher. You can find a friend, but you have to make a friend first. So you have to be friendly. And the first step of being friendly, introduce yourself. Okay? Yeah, Teacher Mike said, I had someone send me that same message this morning. Teach me English, please. What world are you living in? No. Why do you think that would work? Why would that work? No. Teaching is a job. I've been teaching something since I was 18 years old. For about 30 years, I've been teaching. You want me to do that for free? I'm doing that right now. That's all you're getting. It's all you're getting. If you want more than that, you gotta Pony up the dough, we call it. Hello, Sarah. Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Muzamil, go to my links and you'll find everything you need to, okay? If you go to my links, you'll find my website and everything is on my website, okay? Thank you, Mike. And yeah, that is exactly what the Hello Talk is, a place to find a friend who wants to learn your language and you want to learn their language. But that's a friend. So the first thing you need to understand is, how can I make a friend? And begging someone to teach you English is not the best way to start. Okay? Be friendly. That's how you make a friend. Be friendly. Okay? It's not friendly if you just say, will you teach me English? And it's not friendly if you say, I'll teach you Chinese if you teach me English. That sounds like a business deal. That doesn't sound friendly. Introduce yourself. Be interesting and be friendly, and you will develop a friendship, and then you will get the help you want. Okay? That's how it works. Nancy, you can open it, but you have to copy and paste. Copy and paste. No link. If you just click on the link here in the chat, it doesn't work. If you copy and paste it into your browser, it will work. Okay? Oh, hello, Ilias. Good to see you again. Thank you, Mike. Again, thank you very much. I appreciate your support and your help. Can I answer your question? How does vowel reduction impact non-native speakers' ability to understand and be understood in American English? It affects it a lot. Ilias, that's the reason why I encourage all of my students when they're learning to focus on their vowels. And I always say English is a big mouth language. You understand my English because I open my mouth a lot. I'm not reducing my vowels. Okay? If I speak more like this and my mouth is not that open, then yeah, it's a lot more difficult to understand me. Open your mouth and your words will be clear in English. Ilias, I always think about it like I try to speak like a theatrical actor, not a movie actor. I mean like a Shakespearean actor, a stage actor. Okay? They don't have microphones. They have to speak clearly. They have to project their voices. They have to enunciate. So, vowel reduction is a big impact. And it's the reason why you can understand some people very well and can't understand other people very well. Anything designed for kids like an online summer camp. Do you mean, do I have one? Or do you mean, what are you asking, Sarah? Do you need materials? What do you need for that? At what age should a child learn a second language? Any age. Any age. I mean, you can start as early as you want, really. You can start at age 2 or 3, but at age 2 or 3, you're not teaching them anything. You just create an English environment. Every time you give them food, say that word in both languages. Every time that you talk to them, say those important things in both languages. They'll hear both languages. They'll start picking up both languages. Do not try to give a 3-year-old lessons. Just create an environment where they can absorb English. Can I sing Josh Tanner? I can't sing at all. I'm a drummer, not a singer. The other Elif, yes, be friendly and try to give more than you take. That's exactly right. Instead of saying, can you teach me English? Why don't you say, I'm happy to teach you Chinese if you want to learn any. I'm happy to teach you Arabic if you want to learn any. I'm happy to teach you Japanese if you want to learn any. Okay? Sometimes you find a person who's busy video calling you without your permission only to find that he wants to practice English with you. Yeah, that's weird. You shouldn't video call somebody without talking to them first. Yeah, you shouldn't do that. Do I have one on my website? No, I don't have any summer camps. I only do, I don't, Sarah, I would like to do something like that, but organizing things like that is just a little bit more work than I want to do. Right? I'm trying to get my group classes together on my website, but actually even just trying to get a normal group class scheduled is really much more difficult than you would think. Yeah, Tomas, if you want to come on stage, I'd be happy to talk to you. Give me one more minute to finish up these comments, then I'll bring you up, okay? It's a fight. Thank you. Look, somebody has paid attention. It's a fight. That's right. Learning a language is a fight. You have to be a language warrior. That's right. Could I help you to learn to use hopefully and hopeful? Yeah. So, let me think about my words for a moment. Hopefully is something that you can use either word. You can use either word to say the same thing in a different way. Hopefully I will get into this school next year. You could say that, or you could say, I am hopeful that I will get into this school next year. Okay? So hopeful is a word you'll use with an be, am is are. But hopefully is a word that you can use as a verb or adjective. So when you say hopefully I will blah blah blah, it means you have hope. You have hope that you will do something. Okay? Am I speaking British English? No, I am not, Ahmed. I'm from the United States. I'm speaking American English. Yeah, this is definitely American English. What does biased mean? Biased means you have some kind of internal view that causes you to think one thing rather than another. Right? So, if you really like American TV shows and movies, then maybe you will be biased about which accent to choose. You'll say, I like the American accent more. You're biased because you watch those movies more. Stereotypes are sometimes involved in bias, but not always. Is there much difference in the American accent and the British accent? Yeah. A bottle of water. A bottle of water. A bottle of water. I'm just teasing. Yeah, there are many, many differences between British English and American English. Hope and wish, the difference is, Kruger, it's not a scientific 100% difference, but usually the things we hope for are things that are really going to happen, things that you really want to happen, real life things, things that you wish. I wish I could fly. I wish I had $1 billion. Those are fanciful things. They're fantasy, right? Now, when you say, I wish you the best, that's one example where you really do feel that way. Okay? But hope and wish, the general distinction between the two is hope is used for real things and wish is used for fantasy things. Okay? Generally, not always. Remember that there are some things in English that are not rules. They're just suggestions, right? So I could say, I wish I could speak Chinese better, and that would be true. I do wish that. Okay? So there are certainly, remember, English is not a language of rules. English is a language of exceptions. Okay? Tomas, you let me know when you're ready, and I'll bring you up. You let me know when you're ready. I'm speaking British English with a Chinese accent? Well, that's tricky. Okay. I caught up with all the comments. Ooh, Ilyas always has really hard questions for me. I like your questions, Ilyas. How do dialectical differences impact students' understanding in educational settings, particularly if teachers and students speak different dialects? Okay. Dialectical differences in language can impact students' understanding in many, many ways. Because there are many different dialectical differences, right? Dialectical differences comprise things like accent and slang and colloquialized language, regional language, regional pronunciations. So there are many things involved in dialectical differences. One of the reasons why I might have an easier time getting a job teaching English is because I have the Midwestern Ohio accent, which is considered to be one of the more neutral regional American accents. So there are people who live in my area who don't sound like me, but my parents sound like me, my brothers and sisters, my brother and sister, they sound like me. So my nephews, my niece, they sound pretty much like me. The only difference is they don't enunciate as much as I do. So depending on who has what accent, it could affect things greatly. It could affect their comprehension. It could affect their listening ability. It could affect the way that they actually learn, right? There are some people in my area who say the word wash. I want to wash my hands. They pronounce it like wash, almost like there's an R in the word. Okay? And if you're a teacher and you're teaching that, that's going to affect your students. They're going to learn how to say the word wash kind of incorrectly. Okay? There we go. See, Mike is from New York, right? New York, right? Yeah. And yeah, New Yorkers have a certain way of speaking. They have a certain accent. There's regional dialect and regional language colloquialisms that happen. And he had to work on adopting a neutral accent. Yeah, I just had that lucky benefit of just growing up in an area that happens to be mostly neutral. You're confused about performancing. Performancing is not a word. So forget about that one. Performance and perform. Performance is a noun. This is my performance. I'm going to give a performance. Perform is a verb. He performs every weekend. Okay, so performance is a noun, perform is a verb. Okay, to perform. What is the full form of okay? Is that what you're asking, DK? The term okay actually has a very funny background. In the early 1900s in America, there were a lot of jokes, English jokes that were literary jokes. There were written words that they would write or spell a funny way to make a joke. Okay? So the word okay actually comes from the spelling of all correct, but instead of it being ALLCORRECT, they spelled it OLLKORRECT, all correct. It was a joke. So okay comes from a literary joke from a long time ago. That's where it comes from. All right, let's talk to Tomas.
Hey,
Hello,
Mark.
my friend. How are you? Oh, wow.
Look,
Look at you. Are you camping?
no, it's my house.
Oh, you're
It's,
kidding. Wow, that's awesome.
I built it just these days,
That's so
and
great.
tomorrow I'm going to remove it. So I would have liked to share with some on our talk. It happens to you. I'm very glad.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah. Do you know what we call that in English?
I think TP.
TP. That's right. TP. TEEPEE. Yeah, it's a traditional form of Native American dwelling, like a tent. Yeah, that's called
Yes,
teepee.
yeah.
That's right.
It's. I think in your area, which
Mm-hmm.
is the Greenlands,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the name. It's even more typical
Uh,
in the west.
yeah, along in the past, absolutely. In the past, they were typical, right? Yeah, yeah. And actually, I even see them occasionally. I'll see them still now. Like there's a house I know. Occasionally, when I drive to teach one of my students, there's a house I pass by, and they have a big modern teepee in their front yard. Yeah,
Yes, it's getting common. Sorry for the cards. It's getting common to have it as a complement of the house. In America, lots of you can afford it because there's lots of space
that's right.
generally.
Yeah, like you'll put one in your yard or something. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I, I have just a little garden, so it's a reduced form, but I'm happy, very happy.
That's
It
great, though,
was,
man. It looks great. It looks awesome. And look,
yes,
I even see you've got a dream catcher there too, a Native American
I,
dream catcher, the thing that's
yes,
hanging above you.
yes, this one.
No, above you, above your head,
That,
above.
yes,
Yeah, the
the
dream
catching
catcher. Yeah, that's the dream catcher. Yeah,
dream
yeah.
catcher. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it's not only a dwelling for them. There is a conception behind,
That's
a
right.
philosophy,
Yeah.
and I could experiment it in a village.
Mm-hmm.
Some Italian did it elsewhere in Italy. You really feel a good energy
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, sorry if I am abrupt, but I arrived to the point because I don't
That's
think
okay.
we have lots of time.
That's okay.
Uh, there is healing energy.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
it's not my belief. It's
Yeah.
what I experimented,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
I slept in that one. It is a real TP, so I had very good experiences repeatedly. So in my heart, I since then I have had the dream of setting up one of all of mine. It happens this year, but it was a total chance because, seems easy, Mark, but just getting the pools,
Yeah.
pools, 4 meters pools.
Yeah.
Where do you get it?
Yeah.
Where?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's not so easy. Yeah.
No. Where do you get such a canvas?
That's right.
It seems easy,
Yeah.
but it's not.
That's right. Yeah.
And all happened by providence.
Yeah.
Almost by providence.
And and the natives used they made it out of usually buffalo skin, buffalo hide. Yeah.
That was my first thought
Yeah.
in ski, but beside the fact it costed a lot.
Yeah. It costs too much money. Yeah. And it's also
Yes,
it's a lot more difficult to take care of too.
Yeah, exactly. Also to, this is from
Wow, that's
outside.
awesome, man. That's so great. And I love that you have your guitar and your drum in there too. That's so great.
Yeah. I put for you.
That's so great, man.
Yes, you don't find either the people able to work it. How do you call this man, this woman?
Well, there's a few different words for it, but seamstress is a person who sews things. A seamstress.
Yes, that. So because I don't know how to do it, they don't know. It's not question. So it wasn't worthy to start with skiing.
Yeah, right. No, that's very, very. That's no. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it would cost you a lot of money and a lot of time. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But no, it's great just to get outside and, that's one reason I always just liked camping. I liked camping because I could go out and sleep out in the forest and I felt like there's natural healing. There's an energy to nature. You're connected to the nature in a much, much more close way, in a closer way that makes you feel you can let go of a lot of that daily life energy.
Part of the philosophy behind is that, being in the nature, like a tent, yes, the camping gives us this vibe. But moreover, part of the philosophy is that we can see the pools are just
that's right on the ground.
Yes, for different reasons they are not attached, just
on
landing.
the top. That's right. And again, that's because the Native Americans were semi-nomadic, meaning they would move around sometimes. Now they might set up their teepees for a week or a month or even a few months, but then they also would move from place to place to place. And the Native American philosophy was always to leave no footprint, which means to always leave the place the same way you found it. So when they would go into the woods, they always they wouldn't just break down trees and cut things and, no, they left it the way they found it. They always tried to leave a natural way. So there's no trash and there's no, when they leave, you don't see anything there anymore. You had no idea they were there. Yeah,
exactly. It's very basic philosophy of life.
Yeah.
Not only about dwelling, but about everything in life. Don't leave full words.
That's right. Yeah.
For us, it's a great teaching for our mother.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of the best philosophies that I learned when I was a kid. In Boy Scouts, they would teach us this. So, we would go camping in the woods, and yeah, they would teach us that if you're going to make a fire, you can have a fire, but you have to clean it up after, and you have to leave nothing behind. And if you're going to go camping, you can go camping, but you have to pick up all your trash. And we would even try to find trash and take it back with us, right? So if there was trash on the ground, maybe we didn't leave it there, but we would pick it up and take it home because we were trying to make the forest better than when we came, So, and it's just it's called Mother Nature for a reason. You're supposed to respect the mother, right? So you don't just leave trash in your mother's house, do you? Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right.
My cousin. Yes,
all right.
exactly. Yes. Coming back to the pools, it's important to know wooden, ground,
Yeah.
wooden,
Organic.
and organic, and
Natural.
that converge in one point
That's right.
towards up.
Yeah. That's
Afterward.
right. Yeah.
So there is not only all their philosophy, but also ours, because in Western philosophy, but also, sorry if it's too noisy.
It's okay. It's all right. Don't worry.
What has always said philosophy? The sky is one.
Mm-hmm.
Because in God we are one. Let's say like that. Everybody.
That's right.
Declining. Okay. This is the word of the fragmentation, of differentiation, and that's why.
Tomas, you got muted. I can't hear you. I don't know why your microphone turned off.
That's strange. Yes, from the word of fragmentation, from the word, this word of differentiation, the matter, no?
Yeah.
Everything is linked in a different perspective.
That's
above,
right, yeah.
We are all the same.
Yeah. The natives considered the sky the father and the earth the mother.
That one.
Yeah. So it was Father Sky and Mother Earth. Yeah.
And it's all linked.
Yeah.
Vertically and horizontally.
Yeah.
It's all linked.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you are inside such construction, let's call it construction, you just feel this.
Yeah. I'm jealous. I wish I had a tent right now. Yeah, but that's why I like to go hiking sometimes, just because I need to get out into nature. Like I just need to go connect with nature and feel like, yesterday the weather was really nice here. It was nice and cool, and it was an unusual day for the temperature to be so cool. And I should have gone hiking, but I didn't. I did go to the park for a little bit, but just trying to get out in nature, I like the feeling. I need that. It cleanses me, and it gives me new energy, and I spent a lot of time when I was a boy in the woods, just running around with my friends in the woods. And there's something about it that just always makes me feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Connected. Just being in nature and just paying attention to what's around you. You stop thinking about all your work and all the other things, all the garbage that's in your mind, and you just focus on, look at the creek and the trees and the birds, and you pay attention to the things that are surrounding you, and it wakes you up. It wakes you up.
The connection with the elements.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
It's what we need. But I think, Mark, in Ohio, you have lots of chance. I don't know your house, if it's house or an apartment. I don't know.
House.
Yeah, I think you may have a chance, space around you. I
Yeah.
imagine American houses generally have,
Where I live in Ohio, in particular, yeah. If I want to
yeah,
go hiking, I can just walk in my backyard, and I can go into the woods and just go off. And we have lots of parks here too. We have lots of parks. America is very, very. We really, really like parks. There's a history to that. There's a big history to that. But we have lots of big parks with lots of nature for everyone to enjoy. But I like to go in the woods behind my house because there is no trail. There's only the deer trail. There's a natural trail from the deer and the animals, but there's no human trail anywhere. And I just go out there and I explore. I like to just hike around and see. Now, unfortunately, when I was a boy, you could hike for hours and not see any houses. But now there are neighborhoods everywhere. So you kind of have to try to stay in nature if you want to be in nature. So because I never worry about getting lost, because there's always a house not too far away that I could just go, okay, I'm out of the woods now. But when I was a boy, there were some times when we would go hiking for a couple of hours and we'd be like, oh man, where are we? Like, I don't know where we are. I hope we can find our way back, Yeah.
are there bears, Mark?
No bears where I live. No. There used to be many, 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 many years ago. We used to have some black bears here, and I think maybe in the last 10 years they have spotted one or two, but not many anymore. So I never ever worry about anything like bears. We do have coyotes. Coyotes,
Okay.
yeah, are kind of like small wolves, and you'll hear them at night. Sometimes I'll hear a pack of them at night, especially if an ambulance drives by somewhere, right? And they hear the ambulance,
Okay.
woo, woo, woo. Then all of a
Yes.
sudden the coyotes will, oh, 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 like they'll howl with the ambulance. But they usually only run around at night, and during the day you'll never see them. The coyotes, you very, very rarely ever see them.
Okay.
I see deer, and we have wild turkeys, and maybe the occasional raccoon and fox. But there's no big animals that I need to really worry about at all. So I don't worry about
Okay.
anything like that. Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah, if you go to like Pennsylvania or you go to Colorado or Montana, now that's a place where they have bears. Those are places where they have bears, and you do have to worry about it and make sure you're more careful. Yeah,
Yes.
but I don't have anything
Oh,
like that here. Yeah.
oh, it's good because I I wouldn't go hiking if I know there are bears.
Yeah, yeah.
People, I see on YouTube people go in America.
Yeah, we
Oh,
do.
there's a bear. Hi bear. Hi
Yeah,
bear. No,
that's
no,
right.
I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah, I know, right? Well, what you're supposed to do actually is if you go hiking in a place that has bears, like in Alaska, they have a lot of bears. If you go hiking in
Yes.
a place like that, when you hike, you're supposed to make some noise to tell the bears that you are there. The problem is if you go hiking and you're very quiet, that's the bad thing. Because then you might come up on a bear and the bear doesn't hear you and you didn't hear the bear, and now you are within 10 feet of a big bear. That's a big problem. So what we do is we walk through the woods and we say, hey bear, hey bear. We just clap our hands and make some noise so that the bears
Okay.
know. And then when
Good.
the bears know that you're there, they go the other direction. It's very, very rare that a bear is going to come try to find you if you make noise. They usually go the other way. Yeah.
There is a solution for every problem. Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Humans have got lots of resources.
That's right. Yeah. But we try to make noise. Making noise is what you do to try to make sure they know you're coming, and they'll go the other way. But we also pay attention to the what we call bear sign. Bear sign means, do you see the footprints? Maybe the trees. Sometimes they like to scratch the trees with their claws. If you see bear sign, then maybe you're not in the right place. You should go someplace else.
Yeah, but in any case, before going there, before going anywhere, you have to know.
Yeah.
You don't go by yourself if you don't know it.
That's right. Yeah, no.
In nature, you cannot joke.
That's right.
So,
you need to be prepared. That's when you're a Boy Scout in America. The Boy Scouts, I was a Boy Scout when I was a boy, and that's the motto of the Boy Scouts is be prepared. Be prepared, be prepared, be prepared. If you're not prepared, you don't belong there. So if you go hiking, you bring water. If you go camping, you bring food and a tent and something to make fire. And, you have to have preparation. If you're going to a place that has bears, you need a gun, something like that, like we do have a few snakes here, but almost all the snakes here are not poisonous. So I used to catch them with my hands. I don't, I never worried about them. And spiders, there's no spiders that we have to worry about here, really. There's no spiders, no snakes. So that was one benefit of growing up where I live is there are not very many dangers to worry about in nature here. So you can go out freely and not really worry about anything.
That's good because from USA, I have an idea about USA being so wild in the nature, about fauna. But of course, it's we say sorry. Usually there is few traffic here, little traffic, but this is the time of.
That's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Now there are two.
That's all right. Yeah, I mean, there are places in America that do have a lot of fauna that maybe you do have to be more worried. But most of America, no. It just depends on what region you're from. Okay, if you're from Florida, then yeah, they have alligators, and you have to worry about alligators. And if you're from Pennsylvania and you're in the woods there, then yeah, they do have some black bears there. If you're from Montana or Idaho or Colorado, Wyoming, they have bears there, grizzly bears, and maybe black bears too, I think, maybe. But I think mostly grizzly bears. Alaska has lots of bears, and you do have to worry about there.
I wouldn't go to Alaska.
Alaska is very wild. Alaska is different. Alaska is wild. That's a pretty wild place. Montana is also pretty wild. Wyoming, pretty wild. But the majority of places in America, they're populated, so not so wild.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting, but also the seas are wild in America because recently lots of news about sharks in Florida.
I know, right? Yeah, but I think a lot of that has to do. I think most of that, honestly, I think that's about climate change.
It wasn't like that always in the past because.
Well, I think it's about two things. I think it always has been that way in the past, but 50 years ago, if we got attacked by a shark, some people heard about it, but not everybody. But now, if somebody gets attacked by a shark, it's on every social media and everybody's hearing about it all the time and talking about it. So they think it's just like in America, there are all these people who are saying crime is so terrible in America right now. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you look at all the numbers say that crime is lower now than it's ever been. But you hear about it all the time because of our stupid phones. And the media if they tell a story about a happy guy who went camping, they get no hits. But if they tell a story about a guy who went camping and got eaten by a bear, lots of people will read about that and watch that. So it's part of human nature. We only pay attention to the bad stuff. So the bad stuff, social media is making all the bad stuff seem like it's much more than it really is. But it's just part of it's an effect of social media. So you think that crime is bad, but no, it's actually not. You think that there are more shark attacks than there are, but no, I don't think so. Not marginally, not in any significant way. I think that the number of shark attacks now is probably about the same as before. But now you hear about them all the time because everyone has a camera, everybody has a phone, so anything that happens anywhere gets reported on now. And the nature of social media amplifies anything negative. So, if I were here doing stupid, crazy, dangerous stuff, I would have a lot more followers. But if I just try to be a nice guy teaching English, who cares? Not many people.
We do.
Well, I'm glad you care, but that's why I'm saying I have a different view about social media. I value quality over quantity. So I don't want 100,000 people who don't care. I would rather have 10,000 people who do.
I see the same. I say the same in Italian rooms, different scale. I say exactly. I don't mind 100 likes or 1,000 followers. I don't mind at all.
Yeah.
I need just 10 people to have a good 1 hour of conversation.
That's right.
But we interact with each other.
That's right. That's right.
What I mean.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. I mean, social media is a tool, and you have to remember, this is one of the things I really try to teach when I'm here, guys, is if you want a better world, then you got to be a part of making that world. So that means every time you open your social media and you watch some stupid reel with somebody doing something stupid, you are encouraging that stupidity in the world. Every time you watch stupid videos with stupid people doing stupid things, you encourage stupidity in the world. That's what you're doing. If you want a better world, then you have to support the things that are good. You have to find the people who are doing good things and support them. That is how we create a better social media. So if you don't like social media, ask yourself, what are you doing to make it better? Yeah, and I try to filter what I watch as much as possible too, Blue. Every day on my phone, I remove things. I focus more on removing things than watching things. So if I see something that looks stupid and really not beneficial to the world, then I get rid of it. That's how you create a better world, and that's one of the things I try to teach here as much as I can. Is social media is what you make of it.
Yes, so it all started with television before social medias, because it's 20 years I have not been following medias about news. They started kind of 20 years ago, bombing us with bad news. Yes, also in the past, but it wasn't like that.
No. In the past,
kind of
it was not like that. Yeah, in the past,
news was 30 minutes. News was 30 minutes, and it was
on at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and you watched it at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, and that was it. But now, I think it was in the late 1980s, they created what we call 24-hour news. But here's the problem. The word news means things that are new.
If you're talking about the same stuff every single day, it's not new anymore. It's not new. So they just talk.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
don't understand. They present new things, but always new bad things.
Yeah, but that's part of psychology. They again, it's something we all have to start thinking about more is if a train goes by, you don't pay attention. But if the train crashes, you do.
Uh, it, oh, yes, it's psychological.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
psychological.
But, okay, let's be clear. Let's be insightful. It's not given that a train goes by. It's not given. It takes a lot of work.
That's right. It does. Right.
Many people.
That's right.
Imagine how many people it takes to make a train goes by.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we should present things in this way. Let's who manages medias. They have power, they have tools, they have intelligence, they have to care about society. So they could also drive us in a better thinking, in better approaching the reality. You think, no, a shop in your town, in your place, in your city, it's normal. It's not normal. Have you ever opened a shop? It's not normal to open a shop.
That's right. It takes a lot of work. Right.
Whenever there is a shop, wow, it's something amazing.
That's
it's
right.
a service.
Yeah.
Okay, they make money, of course, it's right, but they do a service.
Yeah.
Imagine a town without shops.
Yeah. Again, we have to start realizing that we take a lot of things for granted. And if it's not exciting and if it's not titillating and if it's not making us feel like, oh, wow, did you know that? Then we just ignore it, right? So we don't pay attention to anything normal anymore. And again, I try to think about it like trash. So how much trash is on your social media? How much trash are you watching every day? How much garbage? In English, we have a saying. We say garbage in, garbage out. Which means whatever you take in, that's what you're going to be putting out into the world. Right? So again, that's why I use social media every day, but I have catered my social media to try to be more positive as much as I can. So I have quotes about famous things from famous people. I have things about technology and new science and history and things that can improve me as a person to know. I don't watch things about fast cars and guys crashing and joke videos and pranks. I don't watch any of that.
Yes, for me, it's not an effort to follow you instead of,
Right.
something, because for me it's natural. But I don't think I am strange. Let's ask people. Do you prefer to watch beautiful things, positive energy, or bad things, negative energy? What do you prefer?
I know, but people say one thing but do another. So if I make a video where I just talk to a person nicely, they won't watch it. But if I walk up to somebody's mom and slap them in the face, they'll watch it. It's pathetic and sad. But we have to take responsibility. We have to start taking responsibility for our own part in social media. Social media doesn't exist without the social part of it. The social part of it means you. So what are you doing to make it better? And what are you doing to make it worse? If you're watching crap all day, then you are part of the problem. Yeah. video games and news, and somebody was talking about TV shows about how bad America is. Yeah, there are lots of them. There are so many TV shows about obesity and about drugs and about crime and about death and murderers and all this kind of stuff. And people always ask me, is that really what America's like? No, it's not really. Do we have a lot of fat people here? Sure, we do. Do we have crime? Yeah, we do. But is that what I think of when I walk out the door every day? No. No, it's not. So, personal responsibility is something that is not enough of a part of social media. Not enough. Yeah, it's okay. It's windy. It's all right. I like the wind.
Unfortunately, this is the time when Italians come back from work. Usually here can pass one car per hour.
That's all right, man.
But, tell me, Mark, I take advantage, just a proposal. It's, it's your show. The American native, generally native people, they have cards. They consult cards,
Right.
and I have here Indian Native American cards. We may arrange kind of consulting, just nothing too serious, not a joke, but nothing too serious. Just it's also a way to practice English. You can choose a card. That will be a message for your life here for all of us.
That's interesting. I actually didn't know that Native Americans have any kind of cards like that. I thought those were strictly European. Native Americans used to do something. I know they used to read bones. So they had witch doctors. They had wise people who they conducted ceremonies usually. Like, for example, they had something called a sweat lodge. Do you know what a sweat lodge is? A sweat
What
lodge.
is that?
Sweat lodge. A sweat lodge. It's a kind of teepee where they would build a teepee and they'd have a big fire in the middle of the teepee, and people would go in there and sweat. So much sweat, it's super hot. And then you get so hot, you start seeing things. And those...
I did it.
Oh, you've done that before. Okay,
Yeah. Very much, yeah.
And those visions are supposed to tell you something about the future or your life, or give you it's your spirit guide. You see your spirit guide, and then they're supposed to tell you about something. But and I know the Native Americans did use certain things like the bones. They would throw bones on the ground and read the bones and the way that the bones would arrange themselves. But I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I don't know if they ever had cards. I'm not sure.
No, you are perfectly right. Compliments. Simply, it's a recent introduction of them.
Okay, all right.
Exactly because also their society has changed. Of course, has changed. So they have developed this way also as a form for spreading their culture to the world, because it's also a form for accepting their fate. Why that happened to us? Okay, they struggled, they fought, of course, but now the situation is this, because they have a spiritual approach to life. So they always wonder why. Their answer now is probably to spread our message. We had our message for ourselves. It was good. This kind of destruction had the goal to let us spread our message for all the world, not only for ourselves, for all the world, but they cannot reach personally every part of the world, every person. So they have introduced this card where there is their message. The way of extraction of the cards substitute the launch of bonds, no, something
Yeah,
like that.
right.
Of course, it's all under specific conditions. It's not that you are hanging out, you play cards. No, it's not that.
Yeah.
There must be the right person, the right condition, the right people, both the consultant and both the counselor, the good environment, all considered. I think now there might be the condition. So if you like, I will be glad to do it, but it's just your choice. I can understand. It's nothing serious, not a joke.
Yeah. No, I
Nothing to.
understand. Yeah. So what? You want to read some cards for me now?
Oh yes, I show you. Well, it's written in Italian.
Okay.
It's called
Le
Cards
Carte
of
del Sentiero Sacro. Okay. All right. The
You know
sacred
Spanish?
cards. Yeah.
Sacred Path.
Yeah. And
No.
Sentirio. What is Sentirio?
The path.
Ah, the path.
Sendero.
Okay.
Sendero.
Okay. Right.
Allora, we have 44 cards. So you can tell me a number between 1 and 44. Thinking, concentrate, take your time. You give me a number, and I will give you back a short reading about the meaning of.
21.
No, don't tell me. I picked up 21 last night. I picked only one card in this day, all these days, only one. It was 21. So I can talk about it quite well, but I will be very short.
Okay.
It's the it's the passage rituals. Oh, does it make sense? Passage rituals.
Reinforce?
No. Sorry.
What's the word? What's the word you're saying?
All right. Passage. Something ritual.
Ritual. Right. Okay. Passage ritual.
What are they? They are moment of changing. So the importance of the moment of change. That's
okay.
As we said earlier, we live in a world differentiate in the space, but also in the time. Things change. We change. So we have to understand, accept our changing to better follow the rhythm of life.
That's right. Yeah.
Often we keep holding our position, and that's not always a good thing.
That's
we
right.
know. Everybody know it's just a messenger arrived to us. So let's just say a few lines. Okay. Yes, the core message is when there is a change, we may get confused. That's the moment of the crisis. If I'm not wrong, in Greek, crisis means change.
That's
something
right.
like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Why we get confused? Because we don't accept the change. We want to keep grabbing the old things. How to well manage the change? We create creativity. The change is the moment where we have to create,
That's right.
because we lose our certitudes, our comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
So when that changes, we have no more referements outside,
Yeah.
but we have the inner referment. Follow it. Let's follow it, and life will guide us.
Yeah.
It's the
Creativity.
moment to
Yeah.
watch inside.
That's right.
This is the message.
I think
With the-
creativity is very, very important to life. If you're struggling, you need to find your creativity. And Mar was talking about how in the early Mexican culture, the Nahuatl language, they had a name for the sweat lodge. They called it the Temazcal. And yeah, there was a different name for it in every, there were hundreds of different tribes in the Americas. And like the Lakota tribe called it the Inipi, the Ojibwe people called it Nokomis, the Mohawk people called it the Kahonsa. And it all was just the same idea. It was the sweat lodge. Yeah. And actually, that's one of the reasons I love drumming. I love drumming because drumming is primal. Drumming is primal. It takes you back to a place before. There you go. Yeah, look, I got one too.
Oh, wow, that's good.
And there's something about that sound that takes you back to something very primal in our nature. Let me see if I can make this sound a little better here.
Yes, especially these tribal drums.
That repeating figure makes you feel something very, it brings us back to this sense of heartbeat. Well, everybody has a rhythm inside them. Your heart is a rhythm. And so we all carry rhythm in us, and there's something about repeating rhythms that makes us feel relaxed and comfortable. It's a trance. It takes you to a trance place. That's why we like EDM music, EDM music is and it's got that sense of repeating rhythm that makes you kind of connect to something deeper. So yeah.
It's a kind of music that becomes really effective along the time.
Yeah.
It's not just 1 minute, oh, it's good, it's not good. No. It's just after
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
half an hour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, and that's why drumming is one of those instruments that I don't know if you guys have ever heard about something called a drum circle. Drum circles are fun. A drum circle is a group of people who get together and they all play drums together. Now, some of them might be real drummers like me, but most of them are just regular people, just normal people. They have no talent, no skill, no ability, no knowledge at all. But anyone can go on to a drum and just... Anyone can do that, right? And when you get 20 people together, doing it all together, there's something very powerful about that. Very, very powerful. There you go. I love your djembe. That's a great djembe.
Yes, you make me remember, Mark. I attended, unfortunately, I could not participate in a drum circle in the most eastern point of Australia.
Oh, wow.
imagine those immense beach
Yeah.
with surfers on the
Wow.
sunset.
Yeah. Drum circles on the beach are so great. Yeah. Or in the desert. Drum circles in the desert too. Also really great. Yeah.
Yeah, in those wild environment with
Yeah.
people from all around the world. There were Arabs, Africans, Europeans, South Americans, Australians. Everybody arrived with every kind of drum. Nobody cared about it. They
That's
just
right.
start
Just playing. Right.
playing,
Yeah.
but altogether it seemed just perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could stay there
Yeah.
hours, so
I know.
effortlessly.
Yeah. There's something
Wow.
very magical about it. Yeah.
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 Oh, thank you, Mark. You gave me a
No,
good
thank you,
moment.
Tomas. Thank you very much. No, it was so special to see you come on with a teepee. I didn't expect that.
I told you something. Did he want to tell you everything to let you
Yeah, sure.
have the
You spoil the surprise. Yeah. Well, that's great, Tomas. Well, thank you so much. And I need to talk to you sometime soon about my trip to Europe because I'm still looking at planning that maybe in October. I don't know if that's a good time for you or not, but I'm going to try to see if I can come sometime in maybe around October, maybe September, October, or October, November, somewhere in there. I'm going to be in Europe.
It's better September, October, Mark.
Okay.
If you can, better
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
for everything.
Okay.
The days are longer,
Yeah,
weather
sure.
is finer.
Yeah.
Especially then if you plan to go to Germany too, as you
Yeah.
told me. So November in Germany, I don't know.
It's a little cold.
You might find a good day, but also you may find snow.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's okay. I like snow.
Okay.
I
No,
live in Ohio. We have 4 equal seasons here. So, we get snow in the winter and, it's one thing I kind of like about my area is all of our seasons are very equal here, so we have about, 3 months of everything. 3 months of spring, 3 months of summer, 3 months of fall, and 3 months of winter.
we
Yeah.
used to have it. Recently, winters are less strong but longer.
Yeah.
Afterwards arrived the 30 degrees.
Yeah.
This year, a bit better. We had a kind of springtime. Last year, literally no springtime. We went from having on the heating from 50 degrees, opening windows the following day. This year, a bit better.
Okay.
Even
All
if,
right.
I repeat, the winters are not as strong like they used to be, but too long.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll try to see if I can come at that time. Like I said, I need to start planning it all now. It's already July. So I need to get my stuff together and buy some tickets and get ready to go. So, yeah.
Okay, Mark. Yes, let me know in case I will do a research about Cincinnati because we may find something new because I think not many people.
Yeah, not too many people study Cincinnati.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not even the professional researchers. They focus other person. So we may find something new that we can eventually share it.
Okay. That sounds fun.
For us, it will be just interesting to go in the streets of Rome.
Man, that's, I've never been to Europe, and there are so many things that I would like to see. Sure, I want to see all the touristy things, but really, no. If I'm coming to Europe, I'm not coming to see places. I'm coming to see people. You.
I'm coming to see you. I'm coming to see Belen. I'm coming to see Gunter. I want to see my friends. And then I want you to just show me what you like about your place. I just want you to show me, where do you like to go get some coffee? Where do you like to have breakfast? Where do you like to go? What park do you like to go to? I just want to see life. That's what I want to see,
Yes, I remember you told me that. I think you remember my answer too.
that there is something special about touching the buildings and I know I'll get that too. I know I will get that. And I'm a history guy, Tomas. I've studied history for a long time and I love history. So I won't deny that there's a part of me that wants to see the Colosseum and everything, but do I want to stand in line for 5 hours to get into the Colosseum? No, not really. No, if I stand outside and I can just touch the outside of the building, I'm good. I'm good. I would rather have lunch across the street from the Colosseum with you.
That's same reason, Mark, why myself, grown up in Rome, I've never entered Colosseum in daytime, never once.
Right.
But I did in nighttime because before modern era, until 90s, when society changed, in the 90s. Before 90s, Rome was kind of a big village.
Yeah, right.
You didn't feel in a modern city.
Yeah.
No, it was kind of big village. You could climb the fence in the Colosseum.
Oh, wow.
There weren't guards. Nobody cared.
Wow.
You entered inside. I played hide and seek in the tunnels.
Man, that's amazing.
With friends, while all the people were in the stands, smoking. I don't know what, playing guitar. Playing guitar. I did that all the time. I went into the Colosseum. Now it will be impossible.
Wow, that's amazing.
Now also Rome is. Okay, we will see. We will see, Mark.
Yeah, I hope so. We'll talk soon.
I think Cincinnati's places are not that crowded.
All right. Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on and showing us your TP, man, and sharing all that great stuff with us. And I'm so happy to see you out in this natural environment, enjoying the energy of your TP. It's good.
Thank you very much. Thank you to you, to all the people who are listening to me today. It was a great experience for me too. I really wanted to have such a moment on Hello Talk from the TP because
great,
tomorrow I'm going to remove it. So it was the last chance.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we'll see you soon. Okay, Tomas?
See you soon. Yes, of course.
All right. Take care, my friend. I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it? That you don't get to see that every day. You don't get to see that every day. A TP in Rome. On Hello Talk. So, yeah, anyway, everybody, what time is it? Wow, it's already 1:30. Holy criminy, I've already been here for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Man, the time flies. Good Lord. Okay. I want to try something really quickly. I've never tried this before, but I want to see if this is going to work. Give me a second here to see if this will work. One moment. Let me check something here. Don't go anywhere, okay? Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back, okay? Well, I was trying to see if I could get this little recording program to work. Did I do the wrong thing? Let me see. Wait, does that work? Let's try this one more time. Let me try it one more time and see if this works. Oh, it did work. Ah, but there's a delay. Yeah, I've got to figure out why there's a delay in the audio. That's a shame. That's a shame. Okay, well, I wanted to do that, but it's not going to work today, so I'll have to figure out that problem, and I'll do it next time. Yes, I'm a drummer. I have drums. This is one of my drums. Yeah. The rain dance worked. Fuang says I made it rain. Is it like Arabic music? Yeah, it's similar. Yeah. Yeah, I play music. I play any kind of music. So let's see. Can't really get in a good position with this. Yeah, I've got drums from everywhere. And I have an Indian drum over here too. How about Chinese drums? I don't have Chinese drums are usually kind of big. Not all of them, but most of them are a little on the big side. So I don't have any Chinese drums, but I have played them. They're really actually pretty simple. Chinese drums are a little more simple than many drums. I do have a singing bowl. That's kind of Chinese. But yeah.
Yeah, right. It's almost, they're very similar to the Japanese drums, like taiko drums. Yeah, they're very similar to that. Yeah, except, yeah, a lot of them are big. They're temple drums, right? Oh, no, I take that back. I do have a Chinese drum. Wait a minute. I have a temple block. Yeah. Jesse, it's actually not a condenser mic. It is a dynamic mic. It is an EV RE20. RE20. No, it's called a temple block. It's a Chinese thing that they use in the temples. Yeah. It is a drum. Anything that is hit is a drum, my friend. Dung. That is a drum. I'm a drummer. If I do know about something, I know about that. Anything that you hit is a percussion instrument. A percussion instrument, and that is a percussion instrument. To percuss means to hit. So yeah. Anyway, do I know Yemeni drums? Specifically, no. Let me see. Many of the drums of the Middle East are very similar to this one. They have a lot of the drums in the desert are frame drums. We call these frame drums. I've got a couple of. There's another one over there behind me. And then they also have things like the darbuka and the dumbek, right? Similar to the one I just had here. So, yeah. But I don't know any Yemeni drums specifically. Let me see. Yeah, right. Yeah, like they've got something that's like, like a darabuka or they have some that, oh yeah, that's a pretty cool one. There are some that I'm not familiar with, but I would love to have one. I can always use another drum. And yes, technically the piano is a percussion instrument because it has hammers and the hammers hit the strings. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I used to have a darabuka. I don't have one anymore. Why do I have so much energy? I don't know. I was born that way. How important is a drummer in the band? Well, we say a great band with a bad drummer is a bad band. A great drummer in a bad band is a good band. That's kind of true. If your drummer is really, really good, then the band sounds good because the rhythm is strong. If the rhythm is weak, then the band, it doesn't matter how good your guitar player is. It doesn't matter how good your bass player is. If the drums is weak, then the whole band sounds weak. So it's kind of important. Yeah, music isn't music without the beat. Okay, so on that note, maybe I'll play one song to end my stream. So hold on a minute. Let me get set up and I'll go play my drums for a minute. How's that? One moment, please.
This is going to be more complicated than I thought. All right. Check one. Check one. 1, 2. Hello. Why am I getting nothing? Hello. Oh, there it is. Oh, bad cable. That's why. Check. 1, 1, 2. Check. Check one. Hello. Check. Hello, hello, hello. Why am I getting nothing? Well, something's not right. Oh, there we go. Check one. Now it's suddenly working. Well, that was weird. Now you can hear me, I think. All right, so I'm going to just play one song, and that's going to be it for me. Okay, let's see. Still sounds a little weird. I don't know why. All right, let's see what we have on my list. To my YouTube followers, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here now. So if you want to watch, jump back on to Hello Talk because if I play music on YouTube, it ends up muting my entire video. So I'm going to go ahead and end my YouTube stream now. So thank you.